Welcome to the Eagle Circle podcast with Minoris Woods. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome. I am your host, Minoris Woods. I'm your humble host, Minoris Woods. As always, it is a plum pleasing pleasure to be with you guys on today. Welcome to the Eagle Circle podcast. Well, like I said, you're not seeing double. I have some amazing people with us on today. If I could do a small introduction, I have my good friend, my old co-worker, my co-star, the star, my good friend, Sweetrika Baker. Come on, y'all. Come on, let's give it up for her. And also in the studio here, we have a wonderful young man. He's very humble and modest and rich and all of that. And we got our good friend, Mr. Antonio Futch in the building. These two people are amazing. They are definitely my friend. I definitely know that they are some amazing African-American people, this woman here and this gentleman here. And the Eagle Circle podcast, we are so delighted to have them. Now, I want them, if y'all don't mind, I want y'all to do a little introduction on yourself. Let the people know, who are you? Who are you, Miss Baker?
Well, my name is Sweetrika Baker, and of course, the only reason why he can say my name was because he is my friend. A lot of people struggle with that, but I'm a mom of 3 sons. One of my sons attends HBCU. He goes to Jackson State University.
All right. We got to take out some time for that one. Congratulations on that.
Yeah, I work hard for that one, so I'll take that one as a win.
You know what? I'm gonna say this. They always say when the son or the daughter gets the degree, they don't deserve it. It's the parents the one that deserve the degree.
Well, you know what?
So we so proud of you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, he got to earn that degree. We're gonna work on that.
Hey, we're gonna work on it.
So I also work with organized labor. I've been working with the Memphis Central Labor Council for 7 years. Working with organized people. Those are individuals that have a union.
Okay.
And so I'm just here to share a little information about workplace trauma.
We about to get into it, y'all. Yeah. And next we have Mr. Antonio Futch. Could you please introduce yourself and let the Eagle Circle know who you are?
Hey, what's up, everybody? The Eagle Circle, man. I'm Mr. Futch. I'm just a working man.
Yes, sir.
That's it, just a working man. I started my first job. I was so young, I lied about my age.
All right.
And here I am now, still working.
Yes, sir.
Right? Some people know me as a business concierge. That's what I spend most of my time in the day doing, supporting people in their business, and specifically with tax compliance. So, if you got your business going, you receive a letter from the IRS or you got a couple issues, I'm the guy you come see to solve those problems.
Okay. Yes, sir. I appreciate that. Now, just in case I need to reach out to you, some of my friends or whatever, how can we get in touch with you? What's the name of your business or anything like that?
Absolutely. Listen, the name of the business is Heron and Associates. But before you reach out to me, I want to give you a free resource. All right, you can reach out to the Tax Tip Hotline.
Tax Tip Hotline.
Okay. It's free for you to text any question that you have about taxes.
Okay.
Now, it's not going to be to give you any specific information about your particular IRS account or your taxes.
Okay.
But if you have questions in general, that's where you start. And if you want to book an appointment with me, text that number as well.
Yes, sir.
And say, I'm looking to reach Mr. Futch to book an appointment.
Yes, sir. Trust me, the number works. I called it. I promise you I did. Hey, and also, just to piggyback on Mr. Futch, if you want specifics about your own tax information, you can go to idme.gov, idme.gov, and that's the IRS website that you can create an account, and that will take you to your personal information. But, man, we're so proud of you, Mr. Futch. Thank you for being here. Thank you, sir. Thank you. I am always intrigued and I'm always happy to see African Americans who have taken out the time to have a professional field or your own entrepreneurship and all of that. So I just wanted to say, on the behalf of me and the whole Eagle Circle podcast, we're proud of both of you all. All right, so since Miss Sweetrika wanted to throw that rock, we're going to see if this one does break. About this workplace drama, I'm ready to get into it. So if you, listen to me, guys. If you ever gone home from work in your body and felt exhausted in your spirit, I want to tell you something. This conversation right here, this is for you. So before we get into personal stories, let's ground people. What is the Future Memphis Worker Center and what it is not?
Well, I love to say what it is not. It is not a union, but it is here to help people to understand their rights. It's here to help workers decide if organizing is right for them. That means organizing a union for themselves.
Okay.
And what else?
I mean, really, it's a space to be heard without judgment. You know, like at the core of it, this is a place for healing of workplace trauma, she said. And it's a community where people can realize that it's not just me.
Gotcha. That's very true.
It's a lot of us out here.
Union and non-union, you know, everybody may have issues and problems. So it's not just you. Everybody has issues. I know I've had my own personal issues and everything. So
I do want to make sure that we reiterate that one of the most important things is that work should not steal your dignity just to pay your bills. It doesn't matter where you are.
okay. That means work shouldn't steal your dignity.
So a lot of times people feel like they have to go to work, and no matter what happens during their work day, I just got to endure it, right? Because I got to feed my family, I got to pay my bills, I got to be able to pay my car note so I can get back and forth to work. But that doesn't qualify. That is not on the application when they ask you to apply for this job. That we need your respect too. We need
course.
all of your dignity. We need you to give us everything for the hours and the pay that we're going to pay you.
Right.
No, it don't.
Right.
That is not what it is. And I just want to make sure that we understand that this space is authentically Black. We are not coding nothing. We're here like we're professional people, but at the same time, we understand that people understand natural conversation. And so that's what we want to bring to this space.
And that's what the Future Black Worker Center is.
That's right.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, you don't have to be pro-union or anti-union to deserve respect at work.
Gotcha. Well, I want to go a little bit deeper into the conversation, and I want us to talk about real life experiences. I want us to go deeper into that. And this is about experiences, not blame. And I want you guys to know that this conversation here, it's about your personal experiences and what you've gone through in the workplace. Not blame, just experiences. Without naming names, can you share a moment or a pattern that reflects what Black workers are dealing with right here in Memphis, Tennessee?
I remember once, there was this teacher that I used to see. Almost every afternoon when I used to see her sitting in her car, long after the school building had closed out and empty, right? But one day I walked past and I noticed that she wasn't reading or writing in the car. She's just sitting there. You know, hands on the steering wheel, staring straight ahead, just there. No talking, no words, no nothing. So, you know, I'm like, what's going on?
Right,
You know? And so she says, you know, Mr. Futch, I love teaching. You know I love teaching. So, you know, I'm like, oh, here we go. We got to have one of these talks, right? And so she says, but it's this other stuff. The constant emails that she says she's getting, questioning her decisions. She said the meetings, she don't even feel like anybody's hearing them. She said the way the discipline issues are happening in her classroom, they've turned it into a personal attack on her.
Wow.
You know, as if she's a bad person because she has issues in the classroom. And of course, everybody know about the workload. Teacher workload, you know, I don't think anybody's questioning if teachers are underpaid nowadays, right?
Right.
So,
Really?
but she said something that I will never forget. She said, I feel like I'm disappearing
Wow.
in a place where I give everything. And I'm sitting there like, I feel like you disappearing when you putting 110% in every day. We seeing it. I see it. The kids, everybody, nobody's questioning if she putting the work in. You know, but what really made it worse is that she didn't understand the policies, what was going on. She was unfamiliar with what it meant to have these mental health days, to take mental time off. She was unfamiliar with the statutes that say, you know, you don't have to have a doctor's statement just to have take a half day.
Right.
And this had an impact on her.
Yeah.
This had a true impact on her. You know, at some point I looked up and it's as if she was trying to survive off effort alone. And I mean, we all know that effort alone is just not enough when you're working on a system that's built on rules that you were never taught.
Right.
So sad to say, when she let go, it wasn't dramatic. You know, nobody was sad. There was no big announcement. Just a quiet absence, as she said, just like she was still unheard.
Wow.
And the holidays had approached, and you know, I hadn't seen her in a while. And there I was in Target one day, and I'm like, "Oh, Mister, like, hey, Mr. Fudge, what's going on? I'm so happy to see you." I'm like, "Yeah, you know what's going on, da da da." And she like, "Yeah, you know, we gotta hang out soon." I'm like, "Okay, bet." She was like, "If you down to pick me up," and so right, you know, eyebrows. I'm like, "Pick you up? What you know, Mr. So, you know?" And she's like, no, it ain't like that, Mr. Fudge. I ain't got my car no more. She's like, you know, after I lost my job, I lost the car. And she said, when I lost the car, I didn't really have no way to get back and forth to work. And so then she said she lost the house. And so now she's like, yeah, I'm living in a hotel across the street. You think you can drop me off? It's show a little chilly out here, and I got all these bags. I'm like, of course. But I'm riding back to this hotel, and I'm looking, and I'm listening to it, and I'm like, man, this is almost not even the same woman that I remember. You know, it's in her face. This is the stress of this.
Right.
Voice sound heavier. She moving a little slower. You know, to see what stress will do to a person. That was crazy. But you know what's super crazy is that the truth is her story is not an anomaly. This ain't nothing special.
Right.
You know how many people have issues in the workplace and no support, and they end up on the bad end of this. Terminated, fired at will, Tennessee, right? At Will State.
At Will State, yeah.
And to lose it all, you know,
and that's experience for a lot of workers.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's all it takes is one bad experience at work, and people just kind of lose the desire to want to try.
Yeah.
And that's part of workplace trauma. You know, you have something happen to you at work, and it becomes a slippery slope.
Absolutely. You know, it's like we get taught early just to deal with it. Don't rock the boat. Work twice as hard. But nobody's really talking about what that costs.
Right. Right. So how did that experience show up outside of work and at home and family, or even in your own health?
I mean, for me, it really changes how you see work. You know, how you see yourself, how safe you feel speaking up anywhere. Watching her go through that changed the way I think about work forever. You know, no job should ever require you to shrink yourself to survive.
So my experience was when I was working in a warehouse, and I had an FMLA issue. So I became pregnant with my first son. Okay. I was working in a warehouse, and I had to ride on the cherry picker. And there came a place where, one, I was uncomfortable because I'm walking on concrete floors all day, and I'm having to get up on this cherry picker and squeeze between this post, and I got a little belly. I wasn't huge yet. I was about 5 months, but it was really uncomfortable. I'm trying to squeeze between a post with a pregnant belly. It was crazy. And I'm like, y'all can't get somebody else to do this? Right. And they were like, no, like you're qualified and you've been trained. I'm like, we can train other people. I'm finna go on leave. Like, I'm pregnant. And they were like, well, now if you don't have a doctor's notice, we can't. So, which was crazy, right? Like, so I went to... I got to a place where I was really feeling uncomfortable because they were really comparing me to another coworker. She's on the line. She picking up 40-pound boxes all day long, just back to back to back. She was a few years younger than me, and this was like her third child, but we literally gave birth 9 hours apart.
Wow.
Literally.
Wow.
We were in the hospital at the same time. But in our situation, we were treated very differently, and I actually had I went to my doctor and I was like, look, they're not going to let me stop. I'm picking up 50-pound boxes, putting them off the line because I was doing shipping.
Right.
And I was like, well, they're not going to let me go home. And he's like, well, I'm checking you and it looks like your cervix is shortened, which is a risk of miscarriage. I'm 5 months pregnant. I'm like, oh, that's not great. He said, yeah. So we're sending you home. I didn't even expect that to happen. But long story short, I returned to work after having my son. That's my oldest son that's at JSU. And got back to work, and life is different. You know, life is real different.
Of course.
I had gotten engaged, and I'm back at work. And during that year, I lost my favorite auntie. I lost my uncle behind her. It just was a huge change. I had even filed bankruptcy. And so I had all this stress. And then I got to a place where I couldn't concentrate. I had everything just kind of, I was losing everything. Everything was falling apart. I couldn't concentrate. I couldn't work. My body was not quite back to normal yet. And I had issues because I was a nursing mom. And I had issues with that. So coming back to work, they were like, you got 15 minutes to pump.
Right.
I'm like, wait. Wait a minute. So it was just a huge adjustment. And I found out then that HR was not my friend.
Right.
Because I'm going back to them, you know, constantly like my my FMLA don't cover this.
Yeah.
And they was like, well, no, you know. And it was crazy because I was always the person to vouch for my coworkers. You know, I was always like, they were coming to me asking me about the policy. I knew the handbook by, you know, like the back of my hand. But that FMLA, I wasn't so sure about, you know. And so when push came to shove, I had a really bad, month. And I ended up making a really big mistake. And it wasn't just me. It was multiple people that were on the line. But I was the person whose head rolled that day. And I just have to tell you, I was so traumatized by that job. And I didn't feel it until that day. I walked out the door, and I swear, when I walked outside, it had been raining that day, and I promise you, I feel like the sky had just opened up and the sun came out. And I was like, oh, my God. Okay, I'm ready to go. I called my ride. I was like, I'm ready to go home. And then I left, and then I applied for unemployment. When I applied for unemployment, they denied me. And I was like, wait a minute. So first of all, let's back up a little bit. I went to school for law. Like, law is everything I love. And so policy was important to me. Right. That's why everybody came to me, because they knew I would do my reading, I'd do my homework. Well, now you're going to tell me you're not going to give me unemployment. Okay. So they was like, well, you can go to arbitration, you know, and dispute it. And I was like, you dang right I am. So that's exactly what I did. I went in there and I had folders for everybody, and I fought for my benefits. And they gave it to me. But what about all the people in this world that don't know how to do that? And I ain't gonna lie. We didn't really go into it, but both of us have been in the school system, like, as teachers. And I was a sub teacher for a long period of time because that's what I wanted to do. But that experience, it did traumatize me. I didn't want to be connected to anybody's job because I didn't want them to fire me. That I had never been fired before. That was my first job out of college. And I had all of my first experiences in this job. Just like all the people I love, I lost during that period too. And it was huge. They didn't take any of that into account. And that's something that we need to make sure that we do think about. Think about the whole person. And that's the reason why the Worker Center brings this listening session into place. We'll talk more about that.
Gotcha. Being a Black person in the workplace, it can be difficult. It can be difficult listening and trying to process, how do I get past this, and this, and why do I feel like I'm being treated unfair, or why I feel like my break is supposed to be 30 minutes, but it seems like it's 27. What's really going on here? So, yeah, I understand a lot. And it seemed like a lot of us were taught just to deal with it.
Absolutely.
But dealing with it doesn't mean it doesn't hurt. Am I right?
Absolutely.
I'm dealing with it, but were you hurt in that situation?
Oh man, yeah. I know. Even though I had unemployment, I took that time to really look inside. And honestly, if y'all have seen the movie Made, It was The Maid. It was a young girl. There was this time in the movie when she was like in a hole, and she had just been so traumatized from relationships, and then like working like crazy, and she just was just like, no, I don't want to do this no more. And I kind of had that moment. I was like, I don't want to do this no more. I don't even know what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm just gonna be a mom. I'm just gonna be a mom, which I love. I love being a mother. Let me say that loud. I love being a mom.
To all the mamas out there.
Yeah, but it's a lot, you know. And for me, I didn't have anybody to say, no. It wasn't necessarily, you know, dust off and keep going. It was just like my mother was there supporting me,
Right.
but she had a hugely bad experience. Just like I did, she was sexually harassed at work. My mother walked off the job. She was probably 8 miles away from the house and was like, I'm finna hit Winchester. And started walking down Winchester. She had been sexually harassed for months by the same person, and nobody would speak up for her. She reported it. She did all the documentation. And because this person was well known in the city, you know, she couldn't get any, you know, she couldn't get any restoration for it. And so she left. She was like, well, today I retire. I think my mom was like 45. She's like a year younger than me right now. And she was like, that's it. I'm done.
Well, let me ask you a question. Why do conversations about labor and union still feel confusing, intimidating, in y'all's opinion, for so many black workers? It just feels so intimidating.
First of all, it's intimidating because of the conversations that corporations have with workers. So they have something that they call captive audiences, where they take workers and they pull them into a room and they smile at them and they give them pizza and they give them all the, you know, happy go, like, look, hey, we're family here, you know? We're here to make sure that you have everything that you need. You need better benefits, just tell us. We got you. And so people hear these conversations and they think that this is someone that means well to them, but they also start to teach them why the union is bad for them. You know, why organizing for themselves, telling the boss what they want, literally, and putting pressure on the boss to say, this is what we need, and we need you to figure out how we can get it. Because we're the workers, we do the work, and if we don't do the work, you don't get paid. And that message becomes pretty clear when you have a union. Yeah, and so, of course, it's the corporations that paint that picture. And, of course, we do have a lot of stuff in history. Like, there were some times when labor was not comparable for black workers.
Right.
Hence why we used to have AFL. Now it is AFL-CIO. The CIO included people of color. And that's why, like, never leave out the CIO, y'all. Never leave it out. Because that's leaving us out. Don't do it. Yes. So AFL-CIO is about federations of organized labor, but including the colored piece of workers. And so another thing is this state is an at-will state. We are a right-to-work state. We just enshrined that into our legislation 2 years ago. Fought super hard on that for 3 years. And so right to work sounds good, but it's not. And I don't even have time to go into why it's not. All I'm telling you is that when the enemy tells you something is good, this apple is good for you, it's going to make you beautiful, don't eat it. That's right to work. I don't know how else to tell people. That's what right to work was. And now we have it enshrined. But there are ways that we can reverse that. And
you know, in particular, like when we look at things in the workplace, it's important for us to remember that education removes fear.
Right.
Okay. And as she pointed out, when you got to that job, HR was already there. When you leave, HR still going to be there.
Right.
What that means is that HR is not there for you.
Yeah.
HR is there for that company. Those people in there, it's not your friend. They are there for that company. And see, these listening sessions, this is what builds confidence. It builds confidence in you as an individual to be able to go in there and speak up for yourself.
Right.
You know, this is a place where you can avoid the whitewashing of policies. You can find the answers and solutions here. That's what we're about. Knowledge leads to choice.
Right. If someone out there is watching or wondering, hey, why should I support this? Why should I support this? What would you tell them?
Why shouldn't you show up for yourself?
Mm.
I mean, if you are going to a job interview, why wouldn't you show up to that job interview, right? Like, because if you don't show up, you're not going to be empowered. You're not going to get the knowledge you need. You're not going to get the education that removes the fear. You're not going to be heard. You're going to walk in and out of the workplace, in and out of life, carrying the same problems, carrying the same trauma, bringing the same trauma to the next job, probably get fired because of the trauma you never healed from, and still broke, right? Those are some of the reasons, I think. And another reason probably is because we have got to learn how to process workplace trauma. We cannot just go through the day, go home, and think that it goes away because we went to sleep.
Right.
It's still going to be there. It's the same nightmare every day. And so you got to learn how to work through these processes.
Of course.
And that means talking through them, sometimes getting even therapy. Workplace trauma, it deserves therapy. And some of y'all jobs do have that available to you too. Yeah. And so people don't realize those are not posters on the board just to be there. There's money that goes into these programs that are offered at job spaces. They have those programs where you can get this mental health. It's something that can be offered. You can even get it through United Way. United Way has, they can direct you to somebody that can help you. You can't pay for it. Your insurance won't pay for it. There are options, y'all. You don't have to go through life alone thinking that workplace trauma is something you never get over.
Could you tell us about the survey before we move forward?
So the survey, the Black Worker Center through the National has a survey that they have put out for Memphis. And so that survey has been circulated at different events. There's different people. So the Black Worker Center has partners, and those partners are helping to get the survey out to the community. The survey is mainly asking questions about what are your experiences? What are you dealing with? What is your workplace trauma?
What you've been through.
And what are the skills that you need? You've been to these jobs, you've been places where they tell you got to have a certain skill, or maybe they tell you you're overqualified. What's the bull crap? And then what's truth? And so one of the other things is if you have an issue that needs to be elevated legally, this is another thing that when it comes to people that have a union and people that don't have a union, they don't have money in the pocket to go get a lawyer and fight these things. And you go to EEOC, you got to go through a whole lot of red tape and a whole bunch of proof to press charges or to get any kind of restoration for what happened to you. And sometimes years of it. Right. Yeah. So there's a legal system is what I want to say. There is a legal option through the National Black Worker Center. Okay. They have a list of people that have legal knowledge to help you with your issues, to advise you on if this is something that you can take up a step and get some help with. There are people that are on retainer, they're already taken care of. And so you just got to say it. Right. So if you go to bit.ly, period, that's BIT.
There you go. Spell it out
LY /capital WWW lowercase WWB because it's working while black lower cap SURVEY. This is where you empower yourself. Nobody's coming out the jungle to come and help you. You got to help yourself. This is where you're gonna do it. This is the first step. Right. Then you find your village. Your village is with the Black Worker Center.
Mr. Futch?
She said it. Listen, this is the place where your story can allow you to connect with others. Like, you're not the only person that had a bad boss. Right. You ain't the only person that's upset today about what's going on. Yeah, you ain't the only person that's mad about these conditions. What the old folks say, ain't nothing new under the sun.
Nothing new.
And we're on Apologetic today, right? We're on Apologetic today?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
It's not a secret what our current administration is doing. Okay, your ability to use the system to protect yourself is diminishing by the day. Before long, there will be no more worker protections in the workplace. This is the start. This is where you can come and find that village of people who are aligned with you, people that are ready to support you in this space.
It's telling everybody in the audience, if I'm going through something, if I got an issue, I now have a voice. I can go somewhere and talk, cry, relieve myself of the pain that's going on down there at the job. We are asking Black workers across Memphis to complete a confidential survey. Your story, your experiences will shape the Worker Center. And it's going to shape how it becomes in the future. So please, take the survey. Take the survey. Take the survey.
What's important about this survey is that this is a hard topic to talk about, as we just mentioned. All right? People don't walk around in the privacy of their communities telling everybody about their work business trauma, you know. And that's because a lot of people don't even see it. They don't see what's happening. As she spoke about what's happening when you leave the job, what you thinking. She's like, I'm just gonna focus on being a mother. This is impacting her whole life.
Of course.
This is a space and a place on this survey where you can share that experience privately. And most importantly, when we get through hearing all the stories and we get through crying it out, you know what we're gonna do? Find a solution.
That's right.
That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna find a solution. So when you fill out that survey, that's gonna help us get the information necessary so that we can provide solutions for the problem that's what we're going through right now.
Because you are not alone.
Because you're not alone.
You're not alone. To also add, confidentiality in this is very, very important. So as they spoke on this, never think that, just because you can't share it with your coworkers down at the job, doesn't mean you can't share it with the Black Worker Center. They are here for you. I'm sure they're going to be here for me and anybody else. So take the survey. Encourage someone else that you may know. Take the survey. I always feel that work should not be a source of trauma. It should be a foundation of pride, dignity, and even a healthy future. Future, Memphis Work Center is where healing thrives and where healing begins. Once again, take the survey.
Take the survey.
Take the survey. All right, guys, this is Manaris Woods. What a plum pleasing pleasure, y'all. Thank you so much, Miss Sweetsugar Baker and Mr. Antonio, Mr. Futch. We appreciate you guys. Hey, we gonna head on out of here. Come on, let's jam before we leave, y'all. Once again on the Eagle Circle Podcast, we want to thank Miss Sweetsugar Baker and Mr. Antonio Futch for this important conversation, and we thank you guys so much for the future Memphis Work Centers, where you are learning, healing, and having organizational skills right there at the Memphis Worker Center. God bless you guys. Thank you for being on the show. All right, y'all, let's give them a hand. God bless y'all.